Hi, it's April 2011. It's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, here to update a video that I did 3 months ago around Christmas time about the upcoming fight, which is now just a little bit over 1 month away, between the Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao, widely regarded as one of boxing's absolute best pound for pound, and Sugar Shane Mosley, a former champion himself, and I believe a future Hall of Famer. Now, I have no problem taking favorites. This weekend, if you've tracked my videos, you know that I made 3 videos for this weekend. And I took Hank Lundy over Patrick Lopez. Lundy was the favorite. He won. I took Giovanni Segura over Ivan Calderon. Segura was the favorite. I also took Hassan Njikum over Giovanni Lorenzo. So I have no problem taking favorites. Many of my videos have the favorites as the pick in the fight. But I can't here, where I see an underdog, Shane Mosley, and he's a big underdog. When I see an underdog who actually has a clear path to victory, and I'm talking about clear, then it's something I think that requires multiple videos. It's something to discuss. It's something I don't mind going on record about before the fight. Now, before I continue, just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. The opinion you should follow should be your own. Also, one housekeeping matter. I've gotten emails from a variety of people. I've gotten emails from people who say they're close to championship fighters. I've even gotten an email from the father of a world-class fighter. Let me make a deal. My YouTube channel page right now is closing in on 500,000 viewers. If a fighter takes exception with a video I've done on an upcoming fight, whether before or after the video, I'll give the fighter a chance to crow, then I encourage the fighter themselves to make a video response to any one of my videos that they choose that are about them, right? And just email me that video response through YouTube. I will put that video up, uncut, unedited, no commentary. I will put that video up on my YouTube channel page for a minimum of 72 hours, right? So if any fighter out there is offended, rather than have a member of your entourage contact me through YouTube, why don't you contact me yourself? You can make a video, you can post it yourself on YouTube, but also send me a copy and I'll post it on my YouTube channel page, which is growing in popularity. And the hardcore boxing fans who follow my channel page, they'll have a chance to hear your rebuttal themselves. The same audience that's watching this tape will have a chance to hear your rebuttal, right? I'll keep that offer open. Also, I'll even post the video on gamblersadvisory.com, which doesn't have the crowd on my YouTube channel page, but does have a hardcore boxing crowd. Now, let's get back to this Manny Pacquiao fight. A fight's taken place that I believe, between my last video and now, that I believe is the blueprint that Shane Mosley can follow to try to get a knockout of Manny Pacquiao. And that fight is the Powell Wolak versus Yuri Foreman fight. What Shane Mosley, who is the bigger man, needs to do is he needs to look at Powell Wolak's aggression. And let me just say, for those of you who don't know, Powell Wolak is one of the better open secrets in boxing. He's only lost once, and if you look at that film, and it's on YouTube, Powell Wolak versus Ishii Smith, I'll just say, in my opinion, that decision was questionable. Right now, Sergei Zinzurich is talking about fighting Powell Wolak. Quite frankly, I think the risk-reward is not big enough for Wolak. I'd like to see Wolak in against people like Miguel Cotto or Sergio Martinez. I believe he has a chance against both. We'll cross that bridge if those fights are ever announced. But what Shane Mosley has to do is he has to realize that Manny Pacquiao, like every Freddie Roach fighter, has a hole in his defense, in my opinion. Freddie Roach fighters come in with their hands like this, right? Manny Pacquiao, if you look at the Joshua Clottey tape, that's the clearest tape I can name, the latter part of that fight, Joshua Clottey is able to hit Manny Pacquiao several times right down the middle. Uppercuts. Hits Pacquiao's chin. Pacquiao's unable to make adjustments. Understand, this defense is fundamentally different than a Philly shell defense where the guy is hiding his chin behind his shoulder, is turned to the side, isn't giving you a lot to hit. Right? Manny Pacquiao, he's typically shorter than most people. He has his hands up. In the early rounds, he'll bounce. He'll sway. So it's a moving target. But eventually, if you bum rush him, you're going to find that Manny Pacquiao doesn't sway as much. And if you have the arsenal that Shane Mosley has, if you can throw a right hand right down Main Street, straight right, you can hit Manny Pacquiao flush. I would encourage everyone to take a look at Manny Pacquiao's fights against Juan Manuel Marquez. You're going to find that Marquez, in the later rounds of both fights, at the end of many flurries, is able to end these flurries with a straight right hand that hits Manny Pacquiao. Keep in mind, too, Pacquiao's a southpaw. They say the way to beat a southpaw is with a straight right hand. Right? Now, my point to you is, the only entity that I know that has been unbeaten since I've been following boxing is Father Time. Father Time eventually beats all of us. Manny Pacquiao is not who he was. Understand, the dominant Pacquiao, who was fighting at 122 to 126, was rarely on the ropes as much as Manny Pacquiao was on the ropes against Ricky Hatton and Antonio Margarito. As I was pointing out to people, before Pacquiao's first fight against Juan Manuel Marquez, I believe he went 18 or 19 fights in a row. None of them went the distance. Right? Manny Pacquiao's last few fights have all made at least the 12th round. Joshua Clottey fight I mentioned earlier went the distance. He stopped Miguel Cotto in the 12th round. Take a look at that 12th round. Cotto could have gone the distance in that 12th round. Margarito went the distance against Manny Pacquiao. My point to you is Manny Pacquiao in the 2 rounds against Ricky Hatton. And I've given the actual time stamps in those 2 rounds against Ricky Hatton in my video for Pacquiao Margarito, where Pacquiao in those 2 rounds has his back touch the ropes several times. Understand, Manny Pacquiao now in his 30s doesn't have the comparative punching power that he had in his mid-20s, nor does he have the fluidity in terms of his foot movement that he had a few years ago, right? His back is now touching the ropes. If I'm Shane Mosley, I look at what Powell Wolak did to a very technically gifted Yuri Foreman in terms of coming forward, smothering him, right? Foreman chose not to continue. He saw the futility of it. If I'm Shane Mosley, I play the role of stalker. He's done it before. The Antonio Margarito fight. Mosley needs to come forward because, quite frankly, if they start boxing, if this is not a shootout, if this is not a slugfest, if they start boxing, Manny Pacquiao's the better boxer than Shane Mosley. As I've said in other videos, Shane Mosley is a slugger masquerading as a boxer. Mosley's smart opponents have kept him in the middle of the ring, Miguel Cotto, and outboxed him. right? Shane Mosley cannot have any hesitation in this fight. He cannot start boxing with Manny Pacquiao. He has to literally jump on Pacquiao, come forward, realize that he has fought the heavier competition in his life. Mosley has a few fights at 154. Manny Pacquiao has never fought at 154. Even his title fight against Antonio Margarito was at 150. So if I'm Shane Mosley, I have to realize that the first half of this fight, I need to put Manny Pacquiao on the canvas at least once. Let me also point out, too, we've seen Pacquiao do a lot of great things. What we have not seen is Manny Pacquiao badly hurt, able to come up and tie up his opponent, right? In terms of clinching, he's going to have problems. Let me also point out, too, that if you look at the second Shane Mosley Fernando Vargas fight, you're going to see that Mosley has Vargas hurt. He then decides to drop him with a left hook, right? Mosley has a straight right. He also has a very brutal left hook. Now, Ricky Hatton didn't throw straight punches. Ricky Hatton had a hitch in his punch. Shane Mosley, much faster hand speed. If I'm Shane, much straighter punches, much shorter punches. If I'm Shane Mosley, I look at the Hatton fight from the waist down. Look at how Ricky Hatton is backing up Manny Pacquiao at times in that fight. In fact, knockouts erase a lot of memories. Understand the knockout where Ricky Hatton gets knocked down over by the ropes. You remember that. I'm not talking about the final knockout in the middle of the ring. I'm talking about a knockdown where Ricky Hatton is over by the ropes and gets knocked down. Ricky Hatton is stalking Manny Pacquiao right before Pacquiao knocks him down. Let me also make another point. Fernando Vargas, and I know this will be controversial, Fernando Vargas hits harder than anybody Manny Pacquiao has fought, right? As Oscar De La Hoya says, he has the kind of power you feel the next day, right? Understand, Shane Mosley fought Fernando Vargas twice. Shane Mosley fought Ricardo Mayorga, who also has a pretty big punch. So Mosley, the taller man, has to view Manny Pacquiao as the smaller man, and he has to hunt him down early. If he doesn't, he loses the fight. I'm the first to say that, if this fight turns into a boxing match, he loses the fight. The bet I'm recommending is Shane Mosley by knockout, straddled against the over in the fight. Shane Mosley, this is a gift to him. He has 6 rounds against a guy, great fighter, but styles make fights. 6 rounds against a guy whose style is tailor-made for him. How do you beat an ambush fighter? You follow him after the ambush, right? Shane Mosley was able to track down Antonio Margarito. He has to literally just come forward and throw punches. His goal should not be to outbox Manny Pacquiao. I don't think he can. His goal has to be to knock out Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao slowing down. Mosley does have the foot speed. Pacquiao is not the defensive type fighter that Sergio Mora is or that Floyd Mayweather is. I think the first 6 rounds of this fight, 6 to 7 rounds of this fight, are Shane Mosley's best opportunity to shock all of us. I think he has a very good chance. This fight, in my opinion, is too close to call. Either Shane Mosley gets the KO or Manny Pacquiao takes over the fight late and the fight goes over. That's how I see it 1 month before the fight. Let me know how you see it. Leave your comments for me here on YouTube. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. And understand, my first vid got 29 dislikes. I know my views are unpopular. Tell me why. Thanks.